Hey guys, welcome to Global Cars Brands. In today's video we'll show you the 25 coolest names of cars. When it comes to the car that you're driving, we all know that the name of the brand is extremely important, because if you're in a pretty influential circle then chances are that the people around you won't exactly see you on their level if you're driving a car like the Nissan Juke. This is why so many people pick out their cars based on the name of the automaker, and more specifically on the names of that car itself. In a celebration of the coolest car names out there, we decided to showcase today our favorite car names. You are more than welcome to look them up, if you feel like you'd want to drive around in one of these cars yourself. But anyways, with that being said, let's jump right into our first pick of the day. 1. The Lamborghini Diablo. This car just oozes personality, even before you see it. Tell anyone that you're the proud owner of a Lamborghini Diablo, and chances are that they'll have to pick up their jaw off the ground right there. This car was originally built from 1990 to 2001, but despite this it's still considered to be one of the most famous cars ever made by Lamborghini, and for good reason too. Its name definitely made it stand out from the crowd, but couple that with the incredible V12 engine that it has on the back, and you have yourself a badass supercar right here. 2. The Ford F-150 Raptor. If you really want to get your blood pumping, as you ride around in one of the most menacing trucks ever built, then you definitely have to get yourself a Ford F-150. Even before you know its name, you know it's a good product, simply because Ford have continued to create amazing truck, after amazing truck, every single year. This one right here was especially popular when it came out because of its name, and you can instantly tell why. Its name is derived from the obvious term velociraptor, but what many don't realize is that it also stems from the birds of prey. 3. Ferrari Testarossa. Let's be honest here, when it comes to combining different languages to sound cool and badass, there really aren't that many combinations out there that can match the vibe that Italian and Spanish bring together, especially around English-speaking countries. In case you didn't know by now, Testarossa translates to redhead in Italian, and it was originally nicknamed like that because of the red color that Ferrari used to sport most of the time. Even if you don't go for a red finish though, you can still shock everyone by saying you're driving around in a Ferrari Testarossa. 4. Porsche 911 Carrera. This literally translates to race in Spanish, and you can already see why it's been such a popular choice both for people in Spain, and all across the globe too. It was originally given this name thanks to a Carrera Panamericana race from Mexico. Porsche was already known as one of the top choices here, so when they brought out the 911 Carrera everybody was excited to see it on the tracks. It has continued to shock everyone, with just how clean and cool the design of the car is, and more specifically, everyone's still in awe at the bold choice in terms of its name, which we personally absolutely love. 5. The Jensen Interceptor. This name actually has a lot of meaning behind it, specifically because it was used by the former British manufacturer Jensen Motors to depict the second car that they'd ever released after the Second World War. Everyone loved it for just how amazing it looked and how good of a car it was, but what really stood out to everyone was definitely the incredible name that they went for. It just rolls off the tongue, right? It's especially impressive to see just how far this took them, as they were able to construct well over 6,000 units all just for Grand Touring, which is no easy feat. Definitely not the most popular car out there, but still a great car to see on the big screen. 6. The Lamborghini Huracan. You may have already been able to translate the word Huracan by now, but just in case you didn't pick up on it yet, it literally means hurricane in Spanish. To be fair, this name wouldn't be anywhere near as cool if the car wasn't also a total beast, but luckily Lamborghini really hit the nail on the head with this incredible vehicle. In many ways it's one of their most well-balanced cars, all thanks to its 5.2-liter V10, with 602 horsepower and of course, the fact that it can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds. 7. The Ferrari 812 Superfast. This is another one of those instances in which, if the car belonged to any other brand out there, it wouldn't be anywhere near as cool as it is, but hey, it's Ferrari, so they can afford to take that risk. The term super is grossly overused nowadays, but in this case, we cannot find any reason as to why this wouldn't fit the car perfectly. This is one of their fastest cars to this day, and also one of their slickest design-wise. Just look at this incredible supercar over here, you can tell right off the bat that it deserves that nickname. Couple its name with its incredible 789 horsepower, and its V12 engine, and you have one of the coolest cars in the world. 8. The Jeep Gladiator. How can you make a car cooler than by simply calling it a Jeep? We all know that Jeeps are amazing off-road cars, that can take on any conditions, so how can we possibly make them even cooler? The answer is simple, you name it Gladiator, and you see the masses applaud right off the bat. Although it's not the fastest car in the world, it's not even the fastest Jeep out there, it can still cross some off-road trails that no other car in the world can, making it more than deserving of that aptly chosen nickname. 9. The Land Rover Defender. This is one of the world's most iconic off-road vehicles, and that's a fact. How do you know if this is the right car for you though? Well, do you like the Jeep Wrangler? Do you wish it were a bit more elegant? Well then combine that car with the iconic Mercedes-Benz G-Class, and you have yourself a match made in heaven. How can you possibly make this any cooler than it already is? Slap the name Defender on it, and you have a winner. 10. The Rolls-Royce Wraith. Let's be honest here, the term Wraith already sends chills down your spine, even if you don't know the actual meaning behind the word itself. Luckily though, despite having such a creepy name, the Rolls-Royce Wraith is one of those cars that you can't help but stare at, for hours to no end, simply because it appears to be perfect from every angle imaginable. It has those incredible suicide doors, and body type that you only see in movies nowadays. Since 2013 it's been on the top of most luxury cars out there, and with a name like that, can you even argue against it? 11. The Suzuki Samurai. Despite being relatively known as a more affordable off-roader than Jeep, Suzuki has still managed to attract a lot of attention with this relatively simplistic car, mainly because of its incredible naming choice. Just saying that you're driving around in a Suzuki Samurai is enough to get everyone's attention, and while the car itself will not get any prizes for its innovation, or incredible design choice, it's still one of the coolest named cars in the world. 12. The Volkswagen Beetle. Going from cars that are called the Devil, to cars that are called the Wraith, having something called the Beetle may sound like a joke at first, but weirdly enough, most of us agree over the fact that it's incredibly catchy and charming. On top of that, the Volkswagen Beetle is also a very competent car, and despite the fact that it ceased production a while back, it still is one of their most iconic cars, simply because of how incredibly cute the design and the name of it is. 13. The Dodge Viper. Alright, and we're back at the incredibly badass car names over here, and who can say that the Dodge Viper doesn't deserve a spot on our list? Despite the fact that it essentially ceased production back in 2017, it still was one of the best and most popular supercars of all time. On top of that, it was also one of the most affordable cars Dodge ever made, which enticed many people to get one over the years. 14. The McLaren Senna. This car was nicknamed after the legendary Brazilian F1 driver, none other than Ayrton Senna himself. In order to commemorate his achievements over the years, they decided to nickname this car after him, and strangely enough, even if you don't know any of that, you can still feel the impact the name leaves behind as you mention it. The McLaren Senna is by far one of their best cars ever made. Top that off with such a memorable name, and you immediately have yourself one of the most iconic supercars of the 21st century. 15. The Ford Cortina. Despite not being referred to as one of the best cars ever made by Ford, it's not even close actually. The Ford Cortina still has an incredibly catchy and easy to remember name, that many people have fallen in love with over the years. It was originally nicknamed after the Italian ski resort Cortina d'Ampezzo, and even though it had a relatively short-lived lifespan on the market, it still stands as one cool-looking and sounding car for us. 16. The Alfa Romeo Disco Volante. While in Italian the name Flying Saucer might not win any awards anytime soon, we can still safely say that the Disco Volante sounds infinitely better in an English-speaking country, with its original Italian name. It is one of the most aerodynamic cars ever made, and also one of the 5 cars that were built lens-shaped, as you can see from these gorgeous photos. 17. The AMG Hammer. Even before AMG became just another part of Mercedes, they were pretty much ruling the market, thanks to the fact that they were putting incredibly massive V8 engines in relatively small cars. But as time moved on, they pretty much couldn't compete anymore with everyone else, so they had to give in. But before they had to do this, they made their piece de resistance, the AMG Hammer. It was aptly nicknamed after the fact that the engineers stated that they basically hammered it like that, which is why each and every one of their models is so different from one another. 18. The Bentley Mulsanne. This car actually has a lot of history behind its beautiful name, and it all stems back to the brand's performance on the track. Back in the 1900s, Bentley Motors stated in an interview that they'd be making the fastest lorries in the world, and they actually meant it, because as time moved on, their new release actually managed to win year after year. Because of this it was nicknamed Mulsanne, because that was the name of the formerly 3.7-mile long circuit that it had to cross over to win. 19. The Buick Roadmaster. Because of their overall love for roads and driving, Buick decided to nickname this incredible vehicle as the Roadmaster, simply as a means of romanticizing their craft. The name quickly caught on since 1936, essentially taking the world by storm, and becoming one of their main focal points every single year. This just comes to show you the importance of a good name for your car. It can literally make or break your sales. 20. The Daihatsu Naked. Sure, saying that you own a naked car is definitely not the same as saying that you own a Buick Roadmaster, but let's be honest here, if you want to get a reaction from the person that you're talking to, then you definitely got more than that with this cool name. Ever since 1999, Daihatsu have aptly nicknamed all their K-cars as naked, and it quickly caught on as both a funny joke, and an overall great pick to choose from their lineup, simply because of how powerful and convenient the car really is. 21. The GMC Syclone. SUVs are not exactly known for being strange or bizarre, but let's be honest here, with a name as weird as the Syclone, you're bound to have a unique car too. We're talking about a turbocharged four-wheeler that can produce 280 horsepower or 206 kilowatts with its V6 4.3-liter engine, and that alone makes this a great acquisition. Couple that with its outlandish name, and you have yourself a cool car to showcase to your friends and family. 22. The Mazda Bongo Friendee. The Mazda Bongo van is pretty much iconic wherever you go, regardless of whether you're from Asia, the US, or even Europe. Ever since the 60s they've spread their cars all around the globe, and many have stated over the years that one of the reasons for this is definitely its strange and cutesy name. On top of that, many have also referred to it as the Bongo Brawny, giving even more personality to this already adorable pick. 23. The Studebaker Dictator. Despite the fact that when they originally made this car, Studebaker wanted to imply that this car was dictated by the current standards, let's be honest here, most people immediately thought it was a reference to the superiors ruling the country. Still, this immediately caught on, making them a lot of money, as more and more people wanted to say that they actually owned a dictator for once, instead of the other way around. 24. The Subaru Brat. The small truck market has never really been too well established, at least not until the appearance of the Subaru Brat. It was manufactured originally as a means of trying to combine both the strength of a V8 powered beast, and the compactness of a toy vehicle, and luckily they did just that. This 1.6-liter powered car pretty much changed the landscape, as far as mini trucks go, as more and more people that didn't even care about small trucks started buying one, just because of its incredibly cute and outlandish nickname Brat. Last but not least, the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Aston Martin are already known as one of the best automakers in the world, they have always been innovators in the field, and they definitely kept the tradition going with this one. The main reason as to why a lot of people want it, isn't necessarily just its looks and performances alone, it's the nickname that really sold the car. Nicknamed after the Nordic mythos, the Valkyrie is a hypercar with 1,100 plus horsepower at its disposal, and with a name like that, can you even blame them for going all out on this one? So, there you have it, the 25 best names for cars out there in our honest opinion. Do you think we missed out on any car name here? Slap us on the wrist for it, and let us know. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click that like button, leave a comment, and of course, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.